Imagine a man standing still in the middle of a shopping mall. Surrounding him are blaring LED signs, endless racks of clothing, the scent of designer perfumes, and the hum of swiping credit cards. Yet he's motionless, unaffected. No phone in hand, no urgency to buy, no craving to possess. His calm cuts through the chaos. In a world engineered to sell, he remains unmoved. This man could have been Miyamoto Musashi. 5 centuries ago, Musashi, Japan's legendary swordsman, philosopher, and ronin, wandered the land not for riches or recognition, but for mastery. He lived with almost nothing, choosing simplicity and solitude over luxury and fame. His book, The Book of 5 Rings, remains one of the most profound treatises on strategy and self-discipline ever written. But what does a 17th century warrior have to teach us in 2025, a time of hyperconsumption, digital addiction, and fast fashion? The answer is everything. Welcome to the unfolding journey. This is a space where we explore timeless wisdom for modern living. If you're someone seeking clarity in a cluttered world, purpose in a distracted age, or simply want to live with more intention, you're in the right place. Let's dive into how we can apply Musashi's path of detachment to the noisy, material-driven landscape of today, and why it might be the most revolutionary act of all. Musashi's philosophy, the art of non-attachment. Miyamoto Musashi wasn't just a master swordsman. He was a master of self. By the time he wrote the Book of 5 Rings, he had fought over 60 duels, never losing once. And yet he spent the latter part of his life in deep contemplation, creating art, calligraphy, and refining his philosophy. One of his most quoted principles? Do not, under any circumstances, depend on a partial feeling. This wasn't just about combat. It was a lesson in clarity and emotional discipline. Musashi preached detachment not because emotions or possessions were inherently wrong, but because attachment to them clouds perception and weakens resolve. To him, attachment led to imbalance. And imbalance is fatal, on the battlefield and in life. His teachings encourage a mental stillness, a freedom from the inner pull of desires and fears. While the world around him shifted, wars, politics, social hierarchies, Musashi remained grounded in a philosophy that transcended it all. Now fast forward 400 years. The battlefield isn't with swords, it's in our minds. And the enemy is distraction, excess, and the ever-present more. The modern war, consumerism, and the illusion of fulfillment. Today, the battlefield is digital and psychological. Advertising algorithms know us better than we know ourselves. Every scroll and swipe reinforces the belief that we're one purchase away from happiness. New phone, new shoes, new identity. But the cycle never ends. Consumerism thrives on dissatisfaction. It's built on convincing us that something is missing, and then selling us the illusion of fulfillment. But Musashi's wisdom cuts through that illusion. His life was a testament to the power of less. Musashi owned little, slept under the stars, and trained endlessly with focus and discipline. He didn't need status symbols. His power came from mastery, not material. Now, that's not to say modern life must mimic a hermit's path. The lesson isn't to reject all possessions, but to understand their role. Are they serving you, or are you serving them? To live like Musashi today is to recognize when you're being baited by modern traps, social media, consumer validation, the fear of missing out, and to remain unmoved. 5 ways to practice Musashi-style detachment today. So how do we bring this ancient mindset into the chaos of 2025? Here are 5 practical ways to apply Musashi's philosophy in daily life. 1. Declutter your physical space. Musashi lived with almost nothing, not out of poverty, but principle. He knew that clutter, physical or mental, interferes with focus. Try this. Pick one area of your life, your closet, desk, or even your phone apps, and strip it down to only what's essential. What remains should serve a purpose. Let your environment mirror your internal clarity. 2. Practice stillness over stimulation. Musashi spent countless hours alone, training, meditating, reflecting. Today, stillness is rare. We're always plugged in, always entertained. Challenge yourself to sit in silence for 10 minutes a day. No music, no scrolling, just you. Observe your thoughts without judgment. Detachment begins with learning to be okay with nothingness. 3. Observe without immediate reaction. Do not let yourself be guided by the feeling of lust or love, Musashi wrote. Harsh? Maybe, but he was pointing to the danger of impulsive action. In today's context, pause before reacting, especially online. Not every notification requires your attention. Not every opinion deserves your energy. Musashi teaches us to act with intention, not impulse. 4. Consume consciously. You don't need to reject modern life, but you can move through it with awareness. Before buying anything, ask, is this filling a need or a void? Before eating, scrolling, or watching, ask, is this nourishment or distraction? Living like Musashi today means making deliberate choices in a world that thrives on unconscious ones. 5. Pursue mastery over popularity. Musashi didn't fight for fame. He fought for skill, for inner strength, for the path of the sword. In our time, social validation has become currency. But real value lies in mastery. Learn a skill. Build something. Train consistently, not for likes, but for love of the craft. Detachment means your worth isn't dependent on what others see, but what you know to be true within. The freedom of detachment. Here's the paradox. The more we detach, the more we gain. Freedom, clarity, peace. When we stop chasing every trend, we can focus on what truly matters. When we stop fearing the loss of things, we realize how little we need to thrive. When we quiet the noise, we hear our own voice. Musashi wasn't perfect. He was fierce, flawed, even brutal at times. But his commitment to a path free from distraction and ego is deeply relevant today. Detachment isn't cold or empty. It's spacious. It makes room for what's real, authentic relationships, meaningful work, presence in the moment. It's not about giving everything up. It's about no longer being ruled by anything. Becoming modern-day ronin. A ronin is a masterless samurai. Unbound, self-led. In many ways, we're all modern ronin, navigating a world where traditional systems and structures no longer hold firm. But that also means we're free to choose our own path, to question the norms, to redefine success, to move against the current. Musashi's spirit lives in those who walk intentionally, who choose depth over speed, who carve out their own meaning in a manufactured world. You don't need a sword. You need self-awareness. You don't need to live in a cave. You need discipline. You don't need to renounce society. You need to see through its illusions. The Musashi of 2025 isn't a warrior on a battlefield. He's the one who logs off, goes for a walk, builds something with his hands, speaks with honesty, listens deeply, and consumes only what he needs. He's free, not because he has nothing, but because nothing has him. So the next time you feel the pull to click buy now, to chase the algorithm, or to compare your life to someone else's filtered feed, pause. Breathe. Remember Musashi. In the age of consumerism, detachment is a form of rebellion. And in that rebellion lies peace. Thank you for walking with us on this journey. If this message resonated with you, if you're seeking a path of clarity, simplicity, and grounded purpose, then subscribe to The Unfolding Journey. Every week, we bring you timeless wisdom to help you navigate modern life with more depth and intention. This is more than content, it's a path. Until next time, walk with clarity, live with less, and master the way. Subscribe, share, and let's unfold this journey together.